Alrighty, we are in a website development class, not a web page development class. A web page is a single page on a website. And a website is made up of multiple web pages. What we're going to do today is we're going to use the A tag to create links on a web page to other web pages in our project. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up our file explorer. We're going to go to our documents, and we're going to find our website development folder. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a copy of index, and I'm going to rename it, and I'll name it page, let's make it a whole page about video games. Video games. And then I'll create another page. I'm going to copy this and paste it. And I'm going to rename this one, and I'll make a whole page about, let's make a page about movies, whatever. Movies. Actually, let's just keep it the same. Let's do a page about websites. Video games and websites. So what I originally had, I had a one-page website. I had index.html. And on that website, I had video games and I had websites listed. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move some of this content over to those other pages, and then we'll add some links. So let's start by moving some of this content over to these other pages. So I'm going to open up in Visual Studios all of my files. I'm going to open with Visual Studios, and now I have this video games page open. So I'll set the title. You know what? I'll keep it as Luke's favorite things. In the body, I'm going to delete everything in the body except for my favorite video game franchises. And I'll just save that. And then I'm going to go back to my website. I'll open up the websites list. I'll open with Visual Studios. I'll delete everything in the body except for the My Favorite Websites list. And the favorite website image, I guess, which is Google. And I'll save that. And let's look at those other pages. So up here I have my web address, and I can't make it any, I can make it bigger. Let's make it bigger. I can zoom in on that. And if we look at our web address, it's where our files are saved on our computer, and then it's the name of the folder that my website is in, which is my first website, and this is the page I'm currently on, is index.html. I could go to those other pages with this address bar, which I don't believe is case sensitive. I'm going to try it with lowercase, then I might have to change the capitalization. So let's go to websites, and if I go to websites.html, I have my favorite websites on its own page. And then if I go to videogames.html, I have my video games on their own page. Now that's cool, but when you're on a website, you don't sit there and guess and type in the names. Maybe I have a movie page. Movies. Oh, there's no movie page. Maybe I have a food page. Food. No, there's no food page. We need some way to organize our pages so that people who are using our websites can find all of our pages. So to do that, we're going to make some A tags. Today's assignment is going to be to add A tags to our website. So I created those two other files. I created a websites and a videogames.html file. I just did that by copying index and then editing these down just to only include the parts I want. Now I'm going to go back to my index file, and I have to open it in Visual Studios, right click open with Visual Studios, and I'm going to make some changes to my index file. So let's start by, I'm going to split my screen in half. Okay, so in my index file, I have my favorite websites. I'm going to delete the actual content. I have my favorite video games. I'm going to delete the actual list. And I'll keep these two headers. And I'll keep this paragraph that says, my website is designed to share my favorite things. Now, my favorite websites, this is inside of an H2 tag. I'm going to try something. I'm going to put it in another tag. I'm going to put in an A tag. And now it should be an H2 and an A. And I'm going to do a closing A. And for my A tag, let's write src, that means source, equals web, this might be case sensitive, so I'm going to put in capitals, website.html. That's the name of the file that I want this to link to. I don't know if I need to put it in parentheses, I might. I might go on W3 Schools here in a second. Let's check W3. Let's try in parentheses first, and then if this doesn't work, I will go on W3 Schools and double check what I'm doing wrong in my A tag. Oh, you know what? I'm definitely doing something else wrong because there's other components of this that I'm missing. When I don't know something about a tag, when you don't know something about a tag, let's go on W3 Schools, W3 Schools, A tag. And we can see an example. Oh, href. It's not source, it's href, and it is in parentheses. My bad. So not source, it's href. 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 Ref stands for reference. I forget what H stands for. HTML? What is href stand for? I think it's HTML reference. Yeah, hypertext reference. HTML is hypertext HT markup language. Hypertext markup language. Not super important, but so hypertext reference. So the reference to our other HTML page. Let's refresh. My link is working. It showed up in blue on my website. Now if I click this link, the link broke. So let's see where it took me. It took me to website.html. It's websites with an S. Websites.html. Let me save that. I'll go back and let's try this link again, and now it's working. So we got to make sure that we spell everything correctly in our links. Let's make another link. Let's make a link to let's make a link back to the let's make a link to the video game page. So my favorite video game franchises. Let's give this an A tag. So inside of this H2, I'll add an A tag. So it's still a header, and it's also, in addition to being a header, I could add multiple tags, and I can make it a link. And we're going to say href equals parentheses, and then the name of the file, which was videogames.html. And I'm going to see if it works when it's not capitalized, just to test, because I'm curious. It does work when it's not capitalized. That's beautiful. So this is not case sensitive, these strings. A string just means a word. These words are not case sensitive, which is beneficial, but most other things are. Like, I believe if I change this H in this href to a capital, I think that might be case sensitive. It is not. I'm just curious. I'm just going to test some tags. Capital A. It's still working. That's very interesting. I was just curious. You try to keep the same capitalization that I use in my videos. It's done for a reason. It's a standard practice that is used to avoid errors. I like testing things. I like playing around and seeing what actually breaks things and what doesn't. But even though we see that the A tag still works when it's capital, your tag should be lowercase. It is the standard practice. Don't capitalize your tags. Okay. So beautiful. Now I have my website with 2 A tags that link me to other pages. I get linked to other pages when I click on these hyperlinks. That's cool. But from these other pages, I have to press the back button to go back to my home page. Every page on a website, if I go on any website on the internet, every page always has a button to go to their home page. So no matter what page I go to on this website, there's always this class link button here, and it always takes me back to the home page. This is usually all included in a nav tag. So maybe we'll add a nav tag. Yeah, no matter where I go, there's always this class link homepage button. That works on any website. I'm just going to go to random websites. This is not letting me log into it. I don't know what this is. But it really should be the case. It's standard practice that you put your logo in the top left corner with a button that sends you back to the home page. These are like fake websites that the school uses. But if I'm on Amazon, no matter where I go on this website, no matter what buttons I click on, I could always go back to, well, this took me to a different one. So, 90% of the time, there's going to be this home button in the top left corner that you can click on. It's a standard practice. It really should be on every page. On most websites, you have this top left home button. Let's add that now. So that's not coming out well in my video, though, for some reason. It's getting a little cut off, which I'm just now noticing. That's okay. There's a home button at the top of this page here. I'll move it over a little bit so you guys can see better. But there is this little ChatGPT button, and no matter where I am, I can click and it will generate me, it'll send me back to the home page. Okay, that's cool. That's great. ChatGPT, awesome, everything. Let's do that for our website. So we want a home button. All of these home buttons, I've noticed that they're images. I can actually right-click elements. You guys can't do this, it's blocked on the school computer. But if I right-click these elements, I could see, okay, this is an A tag, it has an ID, and it has a reference to an image. Oh no, that's a reference to another page, so that's the href. So I can inspect these and I can look at how they're done on Amazon. And I'm just curious about where they're pulling the image from. They must do it in JavaScript. Push key logo. So yeah, right here it looks like they're, I believe this script reads to me as if it's bringing up a file called logo and placing it here. Well, inside of this div. But that's what it looks like to me. I'm not 100% sure. I can't read the JavaScript directly. Okay, but anyway, this is our thing that we're going to do right now. Is we're going to create a little logo to use for our website. You guys can do that on an art program. I'm just going to grab a, you know what? I'll have ChatGPT do it for me. ChatGPT, create me a website logo home button. Why not? I'm not an artist. This isn't an art class. I'm just going to grab the easiest thing for me, which is a quick little AI image. And maybe we'll even put this in the header as the website image as well. Come on, ChatGPT, hurry up. I'm teaching here. All right, and then once we get this home button working on every page so you can navigate back to the home screen, technically later we'll add this, we'll start doing a nav bar. At the top of every web page, we usually have a nav bar, which will take us to any page on their website, instead of just having links kind of scattered around the website. We have all our navigation in one place. This is taking too long. I'm just going to grab a home button from Google Images. Home button, Google. I was being a boomer. Okay, let's just grab this one. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to save this image to my computer. And then I'm going to drag this image into my website folder files. So I have home.png. I will create one of these double tags again. I'm going to do an image. And we're going to do source equals home.png. Let's test that and see if it's working before I continue. Okay, that's really big. So let's check the image size properties. Let's just do, if I do width equals 50, and then you write px to say pixels, that should make it smaller. 50 is still too big. Let's just do, yeah, let's do 50 pixels is fine. Okay, so that's my home button. I'm going to put that home button inside of an A tag. So I'll put this in an A tag that opens here and closes right after it. And inside this A tag, I'll give it an href, and I'll say that this home button will take me to index.html. And that'll be my home button. So now, on this website, I click my home button, and it loads the index page. Now I need this home button on all of my pages. So I'll go back to my folder. I'll open each of my pages with Visual Studios, and I will paste in this home button at the top of the body. Later, we should have this home button in, and I'm going to make sure to save as well when I do that. Top of the body, home button, save. All right. Now, whichever page I go to, I always have this home button to take me back to my home page. That's your assignment. I'm going to add one more thing, actually. I'm going to add to the header, I'm going to add the icon for the website. Instead of this little globe icon, which is very hard to see, I'll make my screen bigger. I have this little globe up here. Other websites usually have their logo. I'll just put that home button for now. Maybe we'll make logos later. So let's make a quick change. Let's go to my code. Actually, let's go to W3 Schools and just double check how to do that correctly. Oh, everything's getting a little messed up. W3 Schools. Let's look up how to do a HTML site icon. Favicon, there it is. Okay, so this should be easy. There it is. So it's a link in the header, and href is, so rel equals icon. That'll do it. So in the header, I'll put this link. So I'm going to write link rel icon. Let's do it. Let's go to the header. We're going to put a link. We're going to say, uh-oh, this is too small. You guys can't see it anymore. Whoops. Yeah, good enough. Okay, basically what I'm showing you here is that on W3 Schools, it says that we have this tag right here, link rel icon, tag type equals image dot, X icon, and then href equals, and then this is the actual location of the image. We're just going to write home.png is what I'm going to write. So I could copy paste that. I'm going to write it out myself. I'm going to do link rel equals icon type equals image slash x dash icon, and then we'll write the last part of this link, which is the actual reference to the image we're using, which is href equals, we're using home.png is what I'm using. You guys could use your own favicon icon for your website. But now if that worked correctly, then now perfect. I have this home button at the top of my screen. I have this little home icon right here at the top. I have this home icon. Let's see if it's on my other pages as well. So if I go to other pages, it's not there. I need to make sure that my other pages also have that home icon. So I'm going to open my other pages, and you know what, let me just copy it from this first page where I did it, where it worked, and I'll go to my other pages, and in that head area I will paste in that code to my other pages. In my head, I'll paste in that code to my other pages, and I'll save that. And now, my other pages should also have a favicon, that little icon. So I have a home button and an icon. That's beautiful. Having this website all linked together, this will be our first project. But for the project, I want you guys to actually take time and actually make a nice looking, detailed website with, two of your interests, and add an image for each thing. And it's not going to be a beautiful website yet. We can maybe make it beautiful later, but it needs to be a lot nicer than this demonstration I'm showing you. Spend time on it. This will be our first, little project that we submit. Once you're ready to submit it, we can go to Schoology, and you can submit me the entire My First Website folder, and I will open that folder up, and I will run your website on my computer, and we'll run it locally. Later in the class, we'll try to post these so that we can host them online and run them. That's going to be difficult in school, but we'll get it done. And yeah, that is that for this lesson. So we added favicons using the link icon tag in the head. We added home buttons using a image of a home PNG that's inside of an A tag. And we added links to our other pages using more A tags. That was today's lesson. You guys need to complete that, and then I'm actually going to do a different assignment for making this website beautiful.